Do you struggle with binge eating? If you're a woman over 40 with over 60 pounds of body fat, struggling with binge eating, and you want to shed the fat and to eat food without feeling sick or guilt, it's totally possible. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 steps the women I've guided follow to get rid of binge eating and body fat for good. And if you want to drop about 5 pounds of body fat per week without calorie restriction effortlessly, I've made Unlock Your Dream Body, a guide on how to shed that stubborn body fat and regulate your hormones to get rid of binge eating for good. And you can grab it for free. Click the link in the description. Alright, let's get into it. The best way to describe binge eating is to continue eating even when you're full and you're not enjoying the food. But I get you, you have a roller coaster of emotions and also physical imbalances. But you can fix this. When you feel guilt, anger and shame every time you eat and after, there is not enough self-love. But the first step to get rid of binge eating is to relearn how to eat. It might sound silly, but it's true. Have you ever felt in control for days, then boom, one slip and everything falls apart? I work with many women who live this cycle over and over. But I remember a particular case. She told me, it's so bizarre. I'll go 5, 4, even 6 days staying strong, no slip-ups, no binges. And then, like a tornado, I tear apart the kitchen, I wipe out the fridge, the freezer and the pantry. Even foods that I don't want, I eat them. And she felt awful. She couldn't stop even when it hurt. Her body couldn't take it anymore and ended up vomiting. She tried everything, diet, meal plans, tracking apps, willpower tricks. Nothing worked, nothing stuck. Then she found me, and for the first time, she learned why her body was crying out for help. She saw the pattern, she became aware of the triggers, and she started shifting into simple, gentle habits that made her feel safe again. And little by little, the tornado calmed, the binges faded, and her confidence came back. And here are the techniques that work for her and many. A very important technique is to chew very well. This might sound silly, but it's true. We live in a world when we are in a constant hurry. This world disconnects us from our senses and our feelings and our true self. We are rushing, we are not chewing very well. We swallow food in chunks just to get our stomach full. But this behavior is not satisfying for us. The fullness comes from our brain. The taste from food goes into signals to the brain, and we can feel that taste in our stomach. If we are in a rush and we are not chewing very well, we'll end up with a full stomach and a constant hunger. Additionally, our digestion starts in mouth, so we have to mix the food with enough saliva and to chew the food very well before we swallow. If we do this, we will have a smooth digestion and our brain will be happy because he is satisfied. And we must respect some rules if we want this to happen. And we have to properly position our body to have a smooth digestion and our brain to be fulfilled. So imagine that you are into the wilderness, you are very hungry, you are tired and you don't have cutlery. You only have some fruits and you see a tree trunk near a river. You are walking toward that tree trunk. You sit on it. You grab your fruit and you start eating. What position does your body have when you do that? The chin is slightly down. The chest is slightly forward and you eat your fruit. This position is the best for optimized digestion and to properly mix food with saliva because we use gravity. I remember when I was eating clementines and my chin was slightly up because I was looking at something. Because of the gravity, I couldn't mix the juice with saliva. So when I realized that, I started moving my chin slightly down. And then all that juice was properly mixed with saliva. So this is the first important rule that you need to know. The second rule is to chew for 30 times before you swallow. This is so crucial because first, we chewed our food very well, and second, we mixed our food very well with saliva, and by doing this, we will not only have the best digestion ever, but we will also satisfy our brain because we chew, and we sense that good taste in our mouth, and that signals goes to the brain, and he loves that. On the other hand, if you just swallow your food in chunks, your brain won't feel that good taste for a prolonged period. And if you swallow your food in chunks, you will eat past fullness. Guaranteed. The women I guided used this technique, and within 1 week, they not only lost 5 pounds, but they also had their meals naturally shrunk to half the size without any dietary restriction. Another great trick is to have eye-food connection, to see your food, because those signals go to your brain and he is the boss. He gives commands to your organs and glands to produce the right amount of enzymes and hormones for your body to process the food that you are going to eat. Maybe you've seen that our pets are very connected to the act of eating, and you probably know that it is not advisable to disturb a dog while it is eating. Alright, so another tip is with cutlery hand connection. Oftentimes we end up with our fork or spoon to be near our mouth. When we do that, we rush to add food in our mouth. So what I discovered is to add food in mouth, put that fork or spoon down, and to raise your fork or spoon only after you completely finished to swallow the food and you are ready to put again food in your mouth. So try those tips and find out what works best for you. Let me know in the comments what are you struggling with and what helped you the most from my advice. But to be even more powerful to get rid of binge eating, you have to regulate your hormones and also take care of your self-image, on what you think about yourself and what you speak to yourself. Have you ever felt guilty after eating and told yourself, I'll stop eating tomorrow, I'll fix it later? But then the next day came, you ate again, the guilt came back, and the whole cycle started all over. It felt like you were stuck, no matter how hard you tried. To be more aware of your triggers and body language and how to speak to yourself is to keep a journal. Write down what you ate today and how you felt throughout the day. Write down every thought that comes into your mind about why you eat that way, why you can stop, and all those emotions that are running through you. You don't have to worry about grammar or anything like that. Find your binge eating triggers. Maybe it is boredom, stress, restriction, sadness. And the most important part is to be aware of this, to don't run away from that, and to don't judge yourself for what you do. Just observe yourself, your thoughts, your emotion, your behaviors. Write them down. Don't try to run away from them. Accept them and love yourself. You are beautiful and you are in control. And another thing that can help you, and it helped me a lot, is that I realized that when I first discovered the fruit-based diet, I could eat whatever I wanted, how much I wanted, and I would still lose body fat. I didn't feel that guilt and shame. So it worked perfectly for me, and I realized that it worked perfectly for others as well. And what I would do if I were you is to eat fruits on an empty stomach. So I would eat fruits as my first meal. That will help regulate the hormones that control hunger and fullness. Raw foods have something special in them because they are part of nature and they came with high amount of energy, and they have their own enzymes and a lot of nutrition and antioxidants. That is great for our body. Eat as many raw foods as you want, fruits, salads, but don't mix fruits with anything. Fruits are very special. They are easiest to digest and they may ferment if you mix with anything else. So keep this in mind. Fruits are the best when we eat them on an empty stomach. And for snacks, go for carrots, cucumbers and peppers. For the main meals, add a salad as a side dish for every cooked meal. For the cooked meal, instead of eating junk food from KFC or McDonald's, eat some cooked foods that you do for yourself at home. So swap the very unhealthy foods with healthier alternatives. Because those fast foods have a lot of chemicals added, and those chemicals act like endocrine disruptors, will make you crave more and disturb the hormones that make you feel hunger. But to really regulate your hormones, I would do a gentle fast between 12 to 16 hours. You anyway fast when you are sleeping, right? Because you are not eating or drinking something while you sleep. So I would extend that fast a little bit longer. That means no liquids and solids. And I would start with 12 hours of dry fast and will build up from there until 16 hours of daily dry fast. If your last meal and liquids are at 8 p.m. and your first meal the next day is at 8 a.m., you have completed a 12 hours dry fast. And it is not hard because most of the time you were sleeping. Dry fasting is one of the best tools to regulate those hormones, and your body won't feel that hunger anymore, but only when it truly needs food. And when you eat food, try to eat smaller portions and more frequently, instead of having, for example, only 3 meals with big portions. However, if you want to make great changes and to not only overcome binge eating, but also to have a slim, beautiful body, you have to know how to exercise and plan. And you don't have to think about crazy workouts or running. No, nothing like that. But the point is that you have to be active, to do steps. Imagine what our ancestors did. They lived into the wilderness and they had to find and grab their food. They didn't have fast deliveries, so they had to walk miles to find food. In our modern society, we don't do this anymore. We are very sedentary. And we have to be active, because when we move our hands, our feet and our body, then we activate the lymphatic system and we start the cleansing process of our body. We will start to feel better, to look better, to think better, to have good emotions and good moods. So try to reach 7,000 steps a day and go to shopping by foot, walk your dog, park your car farther and walk to job. All of those help us build more momentum and to have more daily steps. And I would stick to a habit of doing between 15 to 30 minutes of brisk walking every day. So this is zone 2 cardio. Walk fast enough, but with a pace that you could still be able to have a conversation with someone. Those habits will help you reduce stress and to feel good. But if you want to reduce stress and boredom even more, you have to know how to plan your activities, to make a productive time management, where you structure a schedule and engage in fulfilling activities. You can do meditation, yoga, hang out with the loved ones, journaling, and so on. If you like to shed about 5 pounds per week without calorie restriction, as fast as possible, enjoy your food without guilt, pain, and feeling sick, and you don't want to do it alone, you can have my help. I've already helped hundreds of women and I love to help you too. There's a link below this video for you to hop on a private 15 minutes one-on-one call with me, but no cost for you. It's simply a chance for you to tell me what's going on right now, and if I can help, I'll create a game plan for you that you can follow on your own or with my support. Thanks for watching.